JCS. I missed you so much. A year away because you two want to be a bitch. We're back. I love you, JCS. You're the only one I want to watch doing this. Everyone else is imitating you. They can't do what you do. I love you.
All right.
Only whip on my breast for subs.
You said you did want water, didn't you?
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah, grab me some water.
Sub exclusive.
That's my card. I know I introduced myself to you at your house, but my name is Lisa Reeves, okay? And I am a detective here at the Charlottesville Police Department.
Okay.
So before I want to talk to you, I want to make sure you do understand your rights, okay? And that way I can explain to you what's going on.
I have no idea what this is about.
You understand that? Okay. Today's date is May.
Let me take a guess. He's going to murder his girlfriend, or he does something with a fucking kid.
2010. The current time is. All right. Your first name is George.
It's a man.
Yes.
Georg.
So you know, if I disappear, what do you mean if you disappear again? What the fuck? What does that even mean, nigga? You about to kill yourself?
I didn't. There's
Relax.
no way I didn't do it. No way.
Open out on DDD. I don't even know what that means, bro. You're so weird. We're watching JCS. Shut the fuck up.
Why did you guys come in and say you were searching for an assault?
I never said anything about
He did something. Yeah, no shit. He's in an interrogation.
I never mentioned to you anything. Just told you we're investigating something.
Investigating so.
Do you want me to call anybody for you, George?
What?
It's an interesting concept to think of how you might respond to what
like
would normally be an
BBC?
easy question, especially during a circumstance where it becomes a
I don't remember
terrifying
showing you my
dilemma.
dick.
We ask that you contemplate this question while you
I
put
lied, my
yourself in
shit's
George's
small.
position, but not before you
My shit
grasp the
little.
context of what brought him to this moment. It
please.
begins with 22-year-old
I
sports
knew
scholar
it.
Yeardley Love,
I
a star
fucking
lacrosse
knew it.
player at the University of Virginia. She is captured in this
Always.
photograph playing in the second to last
Niggas are always insane. They always murder. Like, when niggas go crazy, they will murder. They just murder. They're just insane.
game of the season, clearly aware of the obstacles that lie in front of her, yet continuing
crazy
to
nigga,
move
there's
forward,
nothing more
which is
scary
the
than that.
circumstantial detail that turned this picture into a symbol for the globally recognized organization that would be founded in her memory. This would be the last photograph taken that day, capturing Yeardley's last embrace with her head coach Julie Myers. Both were unaware this exact moment would soon be on the national front pages. On May 3rd, 2010, at roughly 2:15 a.m., Yeardley's roommate returned from a night out to their off-campus apartment. Upon entering, she saw that Yeardley's bedroom had been broken into, at which point she rushed inside to find her unresponsive on the mattress. She had blood coming out of her nose and severe bruising across the right
Don't
side
tell
of her
me this
face.
bitch-ass
But the
nigga
most
did what I
alarming
think
thing
he
was
did.
that she wasn't waking up. Her friend called 911, who instantly guided her through the steps of CPR, which was then taken
Bruh, I
over by
already know what
paramedics
he
who
did,
arrived on the
bruh.
scene 4 minutes later. But their attempts at revival were unsuccessful, and Yeardley was pronounced dead at exactly 2:47 a.m.
Was this a high schooler?
At 2:53
or
that same
college
morning,
student?
criminal investigator Lisa Reeves woke up to a phone call from the sheriff's office. By 2:59, she had arrived at Yeardley's apartment leading the investigation, and by 3:50, confirmed that she had her first person of interest, which was 22-year-old George Hughley V, Yeardley's ex-boyfriend, and the next several
Jesus
hours were spent
Christ.
gathering information before she knocked at his front door. She found out that George was a
I already know
fifth-generation
some
heir
eight-
to a very wealthy
oh
American
my
family,
God.
whose roots lay in lumber dating back to the 1900s. He was
Some ape
educated
shit.
at Landon Prep, a prestigious all-boys private school in Bethesda, Maryland, with annual tuition fees of up to $50,000. George was the star player of the lacrosse team and became an All-American athlete. This led to a full scholarship at the University of Virginia, where he remained a key player in the starting lineup, and where he would
Rugby's
also
such a
meet,
shit
then
sport.
spark a romance with fellow lacrosse player Yeardley Love.
It looked good on
They
Teen
dated
Wolf,
for
though.
almost 2 years.
Hughley and Love's relationship was an on-again, off-again one, where they cheated on each other throughout and that tempers flared both ways.
What was going on with these two young people? What may have led someone to do what happened? These are just a completely unbelievable set of facts.
Everybody watched the relationship. People were really troubled by it. They were scared for her. Nobody knew what to do.
Yardley ended the
lagging
relationship in
harder than
2010,
BBC.
just 2 weeks before graduation.
What?
9 days later, she was found dead in her
Since when
bedroom.
does
And
cock
that same morning,
have
George Hughley would hear a
garbage
knock at
ass
his front door.
Cox internet. I mean, it makes sense.
He
Cox,
opened to
Cox.
Detective Lisa
They both
Reeves, who was
fucking
dressed
suck.
in civilian clothing. She introduced herself
Or
as
you
a
suck.
police officer, but mentioned nothing of the crime. She simply stated that she was conducting an investigation that could benefit from his presence at the sheriff's office. George's response
she
was to
finessed him.
lethargically put on his flip-flops, then walk over to the passenger side door of her unmarked
hopped
police
in.
car and let himself in. Somewhat bewildered, Lisa got in and drove them to the police station a few minutes away without talking. It was around then when she noticed bruising on his knuckles and cuts on his forearm,
Well,
at which
he
point
did it.
George was no longer a person of interest. He was the prime
He's
suspect.
literally him. Bruises on your knuckles and scratches on your... Like, what the fuck? We'll go through these... Bro, how do you get to this
You
point?
said you did want water, didn't you? I know I introduced myself to you at your house, but my name is Lisa Reeves. Today's date is May the 3rd, 2010. The current time is, I can't tell on that one, 7:52. Okay? What's that?
My drama's paper still right now.
All right, your first name is George.
Yes.
Right away, you'll come to notice that George is oblivious to the gravity of his situation, and it would be very safe to assume that
How
he
is
at
he
this moment
oblivious?
is unaware that Yardley has died.
How the
He
fuck are
seems
you
to believe
oblivious
that
to the
he's in as much
situation?
trouble as he would be sitting in a principal's
You
office,
murdered
perhaps
somebody,
forgetting
dumbass,
in a
and you're at
fight
the
class
precinct
or
for
on
an
the cross street.
investigation.
And the sooner he provides a sanitized version of the truth, the
This is
sooner he'll get to
retarded.
go home. This, of course, ties in perfectly with the
Nigga, be
interrogator's
quiet
opening
for a
strategy,
busting your
which
ass.
we've
Alright,
labeled
bro.
warmth for the sake of this
It's
video.
getting
She will
real-
downplay the severity of his
real
situation
weird
to a
in here.
considerable
Real
degree, while
brothel-like.
maintaining a friendly temperament with a sympathetic undertone. She needs the
Feel like a
suspect to
sauna
feel
in this
safe and
bitch.
secure for
So
the
much
time
sexual
being,
tension
as the
before
less
he's in.
cautious he is, the more information he's likely to give away. Then as soon as he locks himself into one particular storyline, the pressure can
Pressure that
commence,
nigga.
which often leads to a suspect being
They put
laden
that
with
fear in
panic
him.
and contradictions.
Before we ask you any questions, you must understand your rights.
You know we can
have the right
lock you up
to
for
remain
life,
silent.
right?
Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before questioning and have one present during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided for you. And if you're willing to talk to us now, you have the right to stop talking anytime.
Thank you.
George has two options here. Option one is to remain silent,
I
then
want a
allow his
lawyer.
father to get him the most expensive attorneys in the country. He would then have years to examine the evidence, evaluate the many options
Or just
available,
talk
and then
and tell
construct
a
the most
fuck
self-preserving
story
storyline with
and
world-renowned
fuck
experts in criminal defense before they present it to a jury. Unfortunately for George,
chose
he
option
takes
two.
option two. But before he does, rewatch the flawlessly reassuring manner in which he's given the final piece of the Miranda warning.
And if you're willing to talk to us now, you have the right to stop talking anytime. Got it?
Yep.
Awesome. Just need your signature there that you understand your rights.
This nigga just wanted to go to jail for life.
And the time now is 7:53. All right.
Like, you can't kill somebody nowadays and get away with the shit.
Kinda
It's not
ask you
possible.
some questions. Like I said, we'll explain things a little bit later.
It's got to be no
Tell me
one
about your day
around. Just
yesterday.
nothing can be
Played golf.
witnessed.
With, our
Can't be
parents
nothing.
and a father, son.
Got to be full of bullshit.
Good or bad. I went to
Trash
dinner
thinking
with my
type
dad and my two buddies. And then went home, went to the bar for like a little while. Then I went over to talk to Yardley. And
He uses his prime on JoJo the Mofo.
Who's Yardley?
I'm sorry, bro.
Yardley is my
ad.
former girlfriend.
Okay.
He doesn't like me like that.
About-
He
which
only
I
likes me
understand,
sexually.
But
George has now initiated the investigative subject matter himself. It's the
want the
perfect opening
BBC,
scenario for the
bro.
interrogator
Make him
because
come
she's
so
given
gay.
nothing away, making it more likely for him to reveal details that will contradict the evidence.
when I went over to talk to Yardley, I was like, Yardley, and she was like already totally freaked out because of what she did this past a few days ago, and we haven't talked since, and I was just gonna go talk to her.
Yardley slept with another lacrosse player from North Carolina the
Oh,
week
she
before,
ch-
which is what he just referred to.
And
Did she cheat or is his
she's already
ex?
freaking out.
I'm guessing it's her ex. That nigga's crazy.
You came in and I was like, I'm just trying to talk to you.
The investigation team obviously had no way of knowing this, and George has now confessed to the crime of second-degree trespass. More importantly, however, he's just confessed to initiating the supposed confrontation. He
can't
now
come
can't
in.
say that he was somehow tricked or misled into that situation.
Yeah, he said
He
you
knowingly
can't
stepped
come in.
into it, and the critical fact he can actually recognize and remember this will be used against him repeatedly in the future.
And she like started being like
nigga, if you think about killing your ex-girlfriend because she's getting other cock now because she's with a new nigga or she's fucking niggas, instead of fucking killing her, how about you kill yourself, pussy? Kill yourself, nigga.
You know, like really
exterminate
like,
your being in GTA, of course.
She was already like on the defensive edge, and like I was like, listen, I'm not here to like, I'm just here to talk to you. And she like got all like sat up, like her bed's against the wall, like if it was in this corner, she was like up against the wall, and I was like we were sitting there talking, and like she started being like you know, like getting like all like aggressive after this. And so I was like, all right, like chill out, like, and shook her a little bit.
So just to recount what George said over the last 47 seconds, Yardley was defensive.
Back.
While being in a defensive state, she backed up against the wall. She then became aggressive. George's response to this supposed aggression was to initiate physical contact.
I'm on every platform every day,
and she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen, I'm not like here to do anything, I'm here to talk to you.
Where you been at, nigga? Where your prom at? Where you like at on the YouTube vids? And the TikToks and the shorts, pussy.
And she was like, and like sort of like being like, no, like hitting her head, like stop, like she was in the corner, I was sitting on the bed, I was like,
yeah, she just banged her head on her.
I was like, Yardley, like, what the hell, like, we were just gonna talk.
So let's go back half a minute and dissect what actually just happened there.
Did you just say she banged her head on the wall?
Chill out, like, and shook her a little bit.
He will now say the words, and she started being like, then simultaneously mimic a body colliding with the wall. He will then stop himself mid-thought and subtly modify the detail.
And she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen.
Yeah, he was trying to show what was
being like freaking out.
He goes from illustrating Yardley hitting the wall
to,
as he states, freaking out. He seems to realize mid-sentence this isn't the best way to explain her injuries, so he changes the detail to buy himself time.
And she started being like freaking out, and I was like, listen, I'm not like here to do anything, I'm here to talk to you.
He carefully shifts the topic from Yardley to himself, and keeps it there for 8 seconds before attempting to re-explain what occurred in a more self-preserving manner.
And she was like, and like sort of like being like, no, like hitting her head, like.
No jury on the planet will believe that Yardley was voluntarily slamming her head against the wall with enough force to cause fatal brain damage. All George has done here is give away the fact that he knows Yardley has sustained some type of head injury and now lied on record about how it was inflicted.
I was like, Yardley, like, what the hell? Like, we were just gonna talk, and like,
he lied.
It was not at all like a good conversation, because that's like she was already like freaking out with just even seeing me there.
Okay. What happened next?
What happened next, and she just kept hitting her head against the wall while she was sitting on the bed, and I was like, and I grabbed her and I like shook her. I was like, stop, like we need to like, and looked at her. I was like, we need to like talk about this. And like, I mean, I was holding her arms and stuff, but like I never struck her. I never like hit her like,
you said you shook her
or anything. I was just like, we need to talk. And she was so like, oh, I mean, what's the word? Like, you know, like flopping a fish out of the water, like so like all this. And I was like, listen, like I'm not here to like fight with you or like do anything, like here to talk to you. And she was like, no, like get away from me, you have to leave,
get a job,
you have to leave, like all this stuff. And I was like, all right, like fine, like, but like I want to talk to you after all this.
If you say every fucking sentence, you need to pick up a fucking Hooked on Phonics collection.
Something happened last week, you know, and I was like, all right, like, well, so we were like talking over there, and
I'm hearing it now.
I mean, somehow we ended up, somehow I was resting her on the floor, and I was just like, stop, I just like, and I was holding her.
I was holding her. I was a little bit persistent. I was wrestling her on the floor.
So you're putting hands on her.
That designates George as the aggressor. Yeah, he's completely shut down his ability to argue any sort of self-defense claim.
And then the conversation, I could tell, was just like, it was not going anywhere, and nothing was happening. And
so I punched her in her fucking mouth and beat her to death.
She like went back to bed, and I left. And I went back home.
Okay.
That explains the bruised knuckles,
Phase
right?
1 is now complete.
That explains the bruised knuckles and the
suspect
cuts
has
on your
unknowingly
fucking arm,
locked
right?
himself into a storyline that will put
It's
him away
fucking
for a very
retarded.
long time. The risk of him shutting down or requesting a lawyer is no longer a primary concern. So the interrogator will now increase the pressure. She will confront him on certain elements that she pretended to overlook before, and the ideal scenario is to cause just enough panic so that he backpedals on previous statements
Go
and contradicts
ballistic.
himself.
Bro,
Alright, so you go
you
over
put me
there.
on and hearing the
Knock on
like.
the door.
Now I'm fucking losing it
Her
too.
front door was open. Her room door was closed. I knocked like Yardley, like she heard me.
Her front door was
open the
open.
door and
Live in
went
Whoville?
Alright.
What?
Went in where?
to her room,
Alright,
That's
straight to her
insane.
bedroom.
straight to her bedroom. Yeah, I mean,
How'd you get through the door?
her door or the front door.
Her door.
How you?
Actually, it might have been locked.
It was.
It might have been locked. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you get in there,
Actually,
though?
Yeah,
Just
pretty
be
sure.
honest with me.
Yeah,
How'd you
no,
get in
yeah,
the
it
door?
was actually it was locked.
Yeah, it was locked. How you get in
I
there,
think I
though?
put a hole.
Yeah.
You put a
Punched
hole?
through the door.
Pretty sure actually now. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did.
Why'd you do that?
Why'd you punch a hole through the door?
Well, I
What
guess
you doing?
yeah. Once I was in her room,
The nigga goes over, walks to her front door, punches a hole through her room door that's locked, opens it, and now he has bruises on his fucking fist and cuts on his arm, and somebody's dead in there. Great job.
she was like very like like hardly not like I
Trying
don't
to
talk
say
to you,
like
all
challenge.
stuff. And she was very like
If
very
you don't say
on
like
edge,
for 5 minutes,
I don't wanna
I'll show
talk,
my
I
dick
don't
on
wanna
stream
talk, like,
and open my ass cheeks.
I was like, listen, like what
For
you
a
called
minute.
last week was
Fuck it.
outrageous. Like I just want to talk to you.
Fuck it. 30 seconds.
A very unusual time to interrupt a suspect in such a contentious manner. He was giving away self-incriminating information that could be used to establish a motive. He was doing
Oh, and
exactly
you
what the
fucked
lead
it up.
investigator wanted. But Detective N
Oh
has
my
now stopped him in his
God.
tracks. It's a reckless maneuver at this point in the interrogation, which Detective
I know
Reeves
she
is
had to
no
be
doubt
pissed.
conveying at this moment through nonverbal
like,
communication. She now has to let the suspect respond as to not
slave.
undermine their position.
Because I want to talk to her.
Detective Reeves will now bring his guard back down through a reassuring tone and gently
the
guide his
double
train of
barrel to
thought
my
back
mouth.
to his grievances with the victim. She pulls this off in 3 questions.
Alright, well, continue on. That's fine. Continue on. So you're talking to her and she doesn't want to talk to you?
Not really. I mean, we talked. Though,
I prefer a
like, there was
desert eagle
parts
for
where we
that
were
type of
talking, and
activity.
then, like,
You know what you're talking about?
I mean, about so many different things.
Okay.
Don't need it for things.
Like what?
Like what she did last week.
Did she
Like,
fuck
went
that
to, like,
nigga or not?
Carolina.
Right.
She went to Carolina and hooked up with someone
Right.
Sunday when we were still trying to figure out things. And I was over there like to talk. Like I was like, this is outrageous because I was trying to make everything better, and then like she was very defensive because she knew like
Why are you in here begging for BBC? What is wrong with you?
how upset I was because I've told her like through emails like how upset I was like about what she did, and so I was like, and I sat on the edge of it. I was like, listen, like I want to talk to you, like what you did was bullshit. Like that's not like okay. And I was just like, and she's like,
But I had a
like,
deal on the table. I was gonna
like,
show my
like,
asshole on
she's
stream
like,
if he
like,
just couldn't say like for 10 seconds,
sort of
30.
pushing everything that she did to the back burner and like talking about like trying to like put everything that she did like wasn't important.
What are you
It
even
kept
thinking?
going to the point where
Why did you do
like, I
this?
was like, listen, like you're like we have to figure like out what's going on.
Niggas are insane.
And she was like, I'm not talking to you. And then she like pushed me, like, get out of here.
Like, why would he kill her? Why the fuck? One, that's the one thing. Why the fuck did you go here and not say I wanted a lawyer or something? It's clearly you. And now you're telling stories,
No,
incriminating
and I was
yourself.
Like, no, and like I was like, be like, we have to talk, like, so like get like
When you're doing that, what are you holding on her?
on her arms,
On her arms, like maybe up here?
like shoulders, yeah,
Shoulders.
like be like come on, like and she that's when she would like wiggle and like, be like get away and like
And be one sentence he ain't say like it.
get in
This
the
cat.
corner like really aggressive, like defensively almost. And then she ended. I think she was back in bed, and I left. I was like, this is not going anywhere.
How'd you get back in bed?
We were like wrestling, and
Oh my
we stood
god.
up, and I tossed her. I pushed her onto the bed. I was like, go to bed. Like, I'll talk to you later.
Did you touch her neck area at all? Did you choke her at one point?
He strangled her?
I may have grabbed her a little bit by the neck when we were like, but I never like strangled her.
Oh my god. I've never seen a nigga just do this.
During the whole like commotion, you know, like.
Just say you killed
I
her.
might have grabbed her
You're
neck,
telling
but I
on
never
yourself.
was like strangling her.
Just say you did it.
More detail that was unknown to the investigation. The fact that he grabbed her neck can now be used as evidence. It paints a more frightening picture of the incident with relation to the suspect's aggression towards
crazy
the
you gotta
victim.
be to
This was an
strangle
extremely
somebody.
damaging revelation for George's defense. The discussion moves to the moment he left,
I
and
just
George
dropped
admits
my
that he took
ramen
Yardley's
everywhere.
laptop.
Why'd you grab her laptop?
Because I was so pissed that she wouldn't talk to me. I was like,
Pussy.
I don't know.
Pussy.
I like, took it almost as like collateral, I guess. I don't know. It's not reasonable logic, but
Right. Okay.
I
You should
don't
have
know.
put some
Did you get
fucking
anything else
onion
besides
powder
that?
and garlic powder in that
Nothing?
bitch.
No.
Shouldn't have ate them
Alright.
plain ass
So
chicken
when
noodles.
when you left out of there, I mean, you saw that she was bleeding on her nose.
She's now about to ask a question with the same implication for a second time. Notice what occurred the first time.
Did you go back and check on her at any point?
No, I did not.
Okay. Did you try to call rescue or anything to make sure she was all right?
No, I did not.
No. Why?
Well, you're the last person to put fucking hands on her.
The face
so we
of
know you did
bewilderment,
it
if
now.
there ever was one. It's very strange that he's so taken aback by such a question, especially when you take into account the possible outcome if he had actually called for help.
One medical expert revealed in the courtroom for the very first time that following Yeardley Love's brutal beating, had George Hughley
He
or
beat
anyone
her.
else called for help, she might have survived.
Wow.
I didn't think it was like,
Wow.
I didn't think that she was like
Boy,
in need of
shut
like
the
going to
fuck
the
up.
emergency room. I
Stop
think she just got
saying that shit.
What do you think that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't,
Did you say when you were, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you were shaking her, her head was hitting the wall?
well, that was in the beginning. That was initially when I walked in. Like she was like up in the corner, like saying, get out of here, like you know, like this.
Why was she like this?
At any
nigga?
time when you were shaking her, did her head bang the wall?
Put yourself in George's position and imagine Yardley had in fact self-inflicted her injuries. You would perhaps say something along the lines of, absolutely not.
I wasn't hitting her against the wall.
Yeah, you should have
but,
said, absolutely not, I didn't
she's
do
like,
that.
like sitting there in the corner of like if it were like this, and I'm like already like you know, and I was like what the fuck was that about? Like that's such bullshit that you like do that. Like it's such a like bullshit move. Like would like you know like ever like hitting her, like what are you like doing like that like.
Okay. She has a pretty good knot on her head. That's why I'm asking how you can explain how that would have happened.
I mean, I don't even know when that a knot. I mean,
Like on the side of her head, she's been hit pretty good right there. So I'm just trying to figure out, did you hit her with something?
no.
Was that
no,
her
I never,
head
I
into the wall?
never.
Wait, isn't she dead? Does he know she's dead right here? He feels no emotion for this bitch? I mean, this lady? Holy shit. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. She feels no emotion? He just murdered his ex-girlfriend. No, not that. If he's faking, like, he came up here to talk about it, like, bro, wouldn't you feel something? If she's dead? But he's admitting to it, basically.
Anything.
Well, you touched her. You
This
had
is
your hand
weird.
No, I said never struck her.
on her. Okay. So I'm gonna go through this one more time, make sure we're on the same page. So you're pretty pissed at her from a week ago for sending you text messages. Do you have those text messages?
Nigga feel
She
no
said she-
empathy.
As you put it, fuck somebody.
Talking about as she's dead, she has a knot on her fucking head. He don't give no fuck, but he's talking about how he's putting hands on her.
Let's pull it out real quick. Let's see if we can see
The
this.
day she
The
died.
next moment is fascinating because it symbolizes how drastically George's life is about to change. The interrogator will invade his personal space to make sure he's not deleting anything from his phone. Soon after that, she will take the phone out of his hand and place it on the table. Actions that would be completely unacceptable in almost any other circumstance.
Nah, fuck that. You're not gonna delete shit. You're not finna delete none, pussy. Exactly. Fuck you.
They were like, I guess what you call like an ongoing conversation, an ongoing like intimate.
You can't call him Sebas, nigga. You can't call him that.
Okay.
He's a sub. You can't call him that. His name is Seabass now.
All right. Let's talk about how you.
We call him by his surname now.
entered.
He Seabass now.
I mean-
He sub. He hit that prime.
Because to put your fist through the door.
I'm gonna start calling you
Actually, my
GIF.
leg, I'm pretty
Is your
sure,
leg?
because that's why my legs.
I'm gonna start calling you GIF, nigga.
Yeah, you're right. That was your leg.
Yeah,
How'd you get all the bruising on your hand then?
this is all from lacrosse. This is all.
That's pretty fresh right there. Looks.
This is all from my lacrosse game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's from a lacrosse game. Yeah, dude, I punched a hole in her fucking door and I put hands on her.
And that's-
Even right there, I thought you wore those padded gloves.
This is
lacrosse.
all. This is all the difference. This is all from lacrosse.
Okay.
And that's, I got whacked here. I remember 100% got whacked during the game when I was trying to kill the clock.
Mm-hmm. When you had her and you were shaking her, did she scratch you anywhere?
No,
No.
no.
She's a little girl. She's tiny.
Yeah, she's
Bro,
not.
this
No, she
nigga in
didn't-
this
she didn't
giggity shit.
She didn't
scratch
try to
me.
hit you or anything like that.
No.
Okay. So you kick in the door. Go
Yeah,
in.
that's how I got. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I stuck my hand through and unlocked it, and went in there, and.
Does he really think he's gonna walk out of here?
The detectives leave the room for roughly
There's
3
no way.
minutes.
I don't
When
know
they
what's going
return,
through his
it appears
fucking
Ed
head.
is given the chance to lead with a few of his own questions.
I know we touched about what happened last night, but set it up for me, lead it up to me a little bit here. Why did you guys break up exactly? Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Well, we are not from the same area.
Right.
And I'm going.
He killed a little
or
girl.
she wants me
Have
to
you been
leave
watching the
work,
fucking video?
And I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing.
What
yet,
little
but
girl?
I'm
He
just
killed his
know.
ex-girlfriend. Make me mod. No, nigga, you would have to give me money.
Maybe because there's evidence
You
on
gotta
computer
prove-
emails. that you
No,
sent.
there's no, I
prompts,
mean, you can find,
you
you
don't
can
earn a
read
mod,
all the
you don't give
emails and
anybody
everything
mod as
back and
gift.
forth.
Detective
I mean,
Ed
Jeff,
now asks
my fault.
George if he held Yardley down on the bed. He's trying to subtly set the grounds for an argument of smothering, which isn't a terrible idea, but would be disproven by the autopsy regardless.
No.
Did you fall down on top of her? You know, wrestling around?
You have to put in so much
Around
work.
for,
It's
a
like
little
it's
bit.
basically currency.
No, I never
It's
no.
basically revenue.
I shook her.
No, I mean like just kind of hold her down until she calmed down on the bed.
No, if anything, that.
I mean,
I'm gonna give you a mod when there's a need for
on
mod. Like
the
you're just
floor,
guaranteed the
when we were on
mod.
the floor,
So there's no
when
point having
her
it now.
nose started
That's why you
bleeding.
don't have it.
We were wrestling around, and that's when her nose started bleeding.
Was it pretty noisy when you all were wrestling around?
No, I mean.
Was she screaming?
Sebas, you gotta put that pain in.
No, she was no. She was not.
She wasn't yelling at
actually.
me.
I mean, if I'm cracking my head in the wall, I'm going to be saying, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, she was not screaming.
She wasn't screaming when you
She
punched a
should have
hole
been.
through her door?
Probably,
Terrified her?
Maybe. She should have been. Probably. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Why do you think she should
I
have?
don't know.
Don't the prompts
I mean,
give you
was she
money?
Screaming when I first.
Yeah, but it's a free sub. You ain't have to give it to me though. Like you didn't spend that bread. When you spend the bread, it's different from a free sub.
No,
Like
I'm not talking.
you know what I'm saying?
Get out of here, all that. But
you'd have to
At any point,
Like,
before you
$20,
said- and this was
something
your
like
word,
that.
You said you tossed her on the bed and then
50,
you left.
20.
yeah.
All right. At any point
You don't need mod in
before
here.
that,
Fuck
did
'em.
she lose consciousness?
Fuck a mod.
No.
Okay. What happened after you tossed her on the bed? Did she move? Talk about, say something?
I mean, I literally tossed her on the bed and turned around and
Yeah, you just tossed her on the bed and walked off.
and walked out the door.
Okay. So when you tossed her back on
Was
the
she
bed,
unresponsive?
in
Did she
your mind,
slam her head?
she was bleeding. But you said she was bleeding out her nose, and you didn't feel like you needed to call rescue
No.
after that, after banging her head and
No,
shaking her and blood coming out her nose on the floor.
No. There's nothing about like.
You missed anything that you want to ask him right now?
Early
There's
Christmas.
nothing
man.
about. I mean,
He not
yeah,
finna do it.
anything.
He not
You
finna
know,
sub though.
I don't know. I took.
He not
the
finna
computer.
sub.
George rambles about
Yeah,
why
nah.
there was no reason for taking the laptop for another 20 seconds, during which time Detective Reeves decides that enough information has been attained. Phase 2 is now complete, and the fate of Yardley is about to be revealed.
You're
These
finna go
moments
to
in
jail for life.
interrogations are considered important for the purpose of gauging a suspect's
Death row,
response.
pussy.
It's believed that a sharp and sudden revelation can make it difficult
We're
to
gonna
fabricate.
do micro cuts on your anus, and we're gonna pour alcohol and hydrogen
need big
peroxide inside you,
BBC.
and throw Mentos and Pepsi in there. Pussy.
Emotion. So
Suffer.
in theory, this will cause a
I
suspect to
need
provide
big-
either a genuine response or a relatively obvious
see it.
disingenuous response, which often comes
It
in
ain't
the
even
pretense
pop
of
up there. I
shock
see
or
it.
remorse.
I mean, I guess that's what.
And he's a founder.
Which is.
Well, I have to tell you
I think
something.
I know why you took the computer.
In the midst of what would have been a flawlessly executed moment,
Why didn't it pop
Detective
up?
Ed jumps back into the laptop
waiting.
mystery.
Appreciate
the
the
suspect has
Christmas
essentially
gift. Thank
confessed to
you.
murder. This really wasn't the time
Thank
for
you.
regurgitated conjecture over a petty theft misdemeanor, which Ed was
Fucking
clearly being
subs.
advised of once again through nonverbal
Appreciate you.
communication.
Why do you think?
Didn't even need it.
Is that right?
You on all the videos. Didn't even need
She's
it.
dead.
You watching the vid. Go to every vid in the comments. Look who's
Killed
there.
her.
You're not gonna do it.
You killed her.
He did.
She's dead?
Oh, he didn't know she was dead.
No, I did not.
In our opinion, George is being truthful here, and we believe the
Yeah, I don't think
interrogator
he
feels
did.
the same way in this moment.
I don't think he did. Cause why else would he fucking come in here and do this? Why else would you come here comfortably saying I put hands on her? If he knew she was dead, he would never come in here and do this. He probably thought he was like, oh God, I beat up my girl. Now I got to deal with it.
She's dead?
I don't know why did it pop up on the screen? I didn't see it.
How the fuck?
I didn't even get a notification. What the fuck?
George appears to be going through a delayed response. It's so foreign a revelation that it's yet to sink in. Once the shock settles, he refuses to accept it, and this denial appears to be a momentary coping mechanism
No,
before the reality.
now he's a step above you, nigga. Now you Sebis now because he paid for the sub. He spent the $5. You got a free sub. Now he's above you in the hierarchy, pussy.
of the situation
Watch your fucking
truly
mouth.
hits him, which will happen at this time in the footage.
Now you back to ground one. Now he can call you Sebis.
She's dead?
Yes.
I'm gonna call you
dead.
Seabass though, because it was too.
She's dead.
I'm gonna
She's
call you
dead.
How?
I
How?
already told you how.
He
already
just
told
came
you.
in here and spilled the beans.
Oh my god.
He's like, oh my God, I just came in here and just fucking told on myself. My life is over.
You went in there to talk with her, but it got out of control,
I
right,
was
George?
wondering why.
The detectives will now add further pressure to keep him talking.
was
Suspects
wondering
will
why he
often
was just
divulge
talking
information
so
in these
much.
moments in the panicked attempt to save
quiet,
themselves, and in
be
doing so
quiet
can shut
before I
down a more
come in
credible
your
storyline
ass.
they haven't thought up yet.
Jesus Christ.
The alcohol got
Yeah, y'all
hold
are
of you.
both kids, bro.
You kicked in
That's
her
just
door.
pedal.
She started to fight with
It's
you. You punched her in the
minor
head.
on
You
minor
cracked-
crime.
You cracked her
not
head.
dead.
You
She's
cracked her
not
head in the
dead.
window or in the wall.
not dead.
She is.
She's not
I
dead.
ain't BSing you
She's
right now.
not
It's
dead.
serious.
You're being
I want
investigated.
to see her.
You want to see her?
George,
She's
like-
dead. You
George.
killed her.
She is dead.
You were not here to dance with us. You're here because she's dead.
What did you think you got?
The alcohol.
I
did?
don't believe it. I don't believe it.
It's true.
Dude, I didn't. I don't believe that she's dead.
How did you?
I don't believe that she's dead.
How
I
is she-
don't believe that she's dead.
Did
You think it's a
Did
joke?
you hear her
How?
walk?
There's
And walk.
no way she's dead. She's not dead. I didn't. I never did anything. I did not.
Alright, let's calm down.
I did not like hurt her. Like she's not dead.
She's dead, bro.
Just out of protocol, what we gotta do is stand up for me, George. Go ahead, put your hands behind your back for me. Turn.
Go make cum tributes to your favorite
Alright,
streamer.
alright.
No, don't do that.
Tell me she's not dead. Tell me she's
Don't
not
do
dead.
that to your favorite
Please.
streamer. Trust me, I
Tell
don't
me
like
she's
it.
not dead.
I know they don't like it.
Please. will you
My
tell me
fault.
You know what? I
she's
wish
not
I
dead?
could.
I'm talking
do that,
about me 'cause
George.
I'm your favorite streamer.
22-year-old.
Facts.
22, and her life is done.
She's not. I did not do anything like that.
You did. You just told us.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no way.
Dumbass nigga, man.
I do not believe it. I do not believe it. There's no way. There's no way she could be dead. It's her.
Either the head trauma or asphyxiation.
Either
There was-
suffocated
there
or
was no
beat the shit out of her.
asphyxiation.
Yeah, you beat the shit out of her. Blunt force trauma.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, nigga.
What was she
I'm
doing?
not-
What was she doing the last time you saw her?
She was like standing up with me. She was standing up with me. She was
I thought you threw her on the
standing up and looking
bed.
at me.
Was she standing or you were holding
I thought you threw her on the bed.
Okay.
Oh, Dad. I know she's not.
You just said I threw her on the bed earlier. Now she was standing up.
Oh, you pretend she's not dead. I did.
I'm criminal. I got you with 10 subs.
You cannot
10 subs?
I know.
10 subs? Let's shake on it. 10 subs? That would be very jolly. That would be very... I've been very nice. Very nice this year.
Oh,
But for 10 subs, I'm going to get real naughty. I'm going to get real naughty for them 10.
No, like, get away from me. You have to leave, you have to leave, you have to leave. I was like a little bit persistent. I
Was she
mean,
screaming?
she should have been.
She should have
I didn't kill
been.
her and leave. I didn't just... Oh my God. I didn't kill her. I did not kill her. I did not
If I get
kill
that
her.
10.
I did not.
No, man, I can't listen to that.
No way.
I got my hopes up before.
No way.
I got my hopes up before.
No way.
Bro. I know he probably doesn't think he killed her. I think he just beat up on her. He probably thought he knocked her out. I don't know what he thought. I don't even know what's going through his fucking head. It doesn't even make sense. My fault.
I don't believe this. What? No, there's no way. There's no way. There's no fucking way. So, should I talk to someone?
Who do you want to talk to?
Anyone.
If I get 10 subs gifted, you might get compensated with something. It won't be mine.
What do I do
You
now?
might be compensated with something.
All right, George. Right now, I know you no one want to talk to us. That's fine. Just let you know.
How much is
something.
it?
We're working on a search warrant right now.
I can't do
And what
fucking
it
that.
is,
That's
we're gonna
wait.
have
That's
to collect
50.
some stuff from you.
$50.
It's called a buckle swab.
That might be
And-
mod. I don't know. What the fuck?
Why did you guys say? Why did you guys come in and say you were searching for an assault?
I never said anything about this.
Nobody said about an assault.
Someone came in.
They just
I never
called you in
mentioned
for an
you.
investigation.
They told you we're investigating something.
They just said this is an investigation. You're
You
spilling
ain't
the
been calling
fucking
anybody for you,
beans.
George.
At the start of this video, you were asked to think of what you would do in this situation. Really try and imagine what would be going through your mind in this moment, as you might just gain a restorative outlook from both knowing the answer while not having to answer this particular question. But there is of course no possible way you will gain anything close to the newfound perspective George has acquired in this moment, which unfortunately for him is no longer of use.
Want me to call your dad?
We call it mom.
Your mom? Is that who you'd like me to call?
OnlyFans. I will come in your ass and put my dick in your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Why does everyone come in here talking about
I don't know about
fucking
that.
each other, bro? What is going on?
What's your mom's name?
Fuck.
What's her number?
301 96.
Okay.
How?
Did you want me to call your dad? Or just her?
She'll tell him.
If you ever let something with a woman get you this far with anything where you're about to kill a person, if you're getting so angry you're gonna get violent, don't even go to the fucking person. If you're about to do something like this, nigga, off yourself. Save humanity. Fuck you. In GTA.
Everything.
In Minecraft. In Rocket League. In Call of Duty Warzone 2.
I don't believe it. There's no way she's gonna be dead. There's no way.
Calm down.
There's no way. There's no way. There's no.
She just lost her life or something. Bro, so retarded. Be careful with these niggas out here, ladies. These niggas are crazy, bro.
Yeah.
These next few moments are a turning point. The leg irons seem to initiate a shift in his constitution, and his denial
When
will
we get
completely
crazy,
cease from this point
you're not
forward.
gonna be in
He will
fear
continue
like
to
a
ask
nigga
why
like this.
and how, but he will no longer reject the severity of what is happening.
Oh my god.
Oh, Merry Christmas. Fortnite Battle Royale. I need to get some more sub badges for you. I gotta figure out Well, you just gotta tell me what you want.
Huh.
Maybe I'll get
Okay,
something else unrelated I can add it from myself. I don't feel bad for this
I can
nigga,
hear the rest of my life.
I'm sorry?
but I don't think he was trying to kill her. But either way, he was still beating on her, so it's just not warranted. So nigga, go to fucking jail, pussy.
Rest of my life.
In this room?
No, jail.
Think I'm gonna feel bad for you now?
Not a bad guy, man.
Never said you were, bud.
Call my mom.
I'm sorry?
Call my mom.
Mommy can't save you, buddy.
Yeah, you want to talk to her.
Mommy can't save you, but daddy gonna get in that ass when you in prison. He finna be in that butt. Yeah. Oh, you ripping off. It's sad for real. It is sad for the lady who got murdered at 22 years old. Bro, all nighter stream? All nighter, I got shit to do. I got shit to do.
George was taken to the regional jail soon
gonna
after
be on
this
here for a
moment.
minute.
He would go on to plead not guilty to murder and was held without bond for almost 2 years awaiting trial. It began on February 6, 2012.
Well, testimony is now underway in the murder trial of the former UVA lacrosse
Two
player
subs equals an
accused of killing
all-nighter?
his ex-girlfriend.
For the
That's
first time,
$5
we have video of Hughley as
that
he
I
was
don't
led
get.
into the courtroom.
Contrary to his appearance in
It's
the days that followed his arrest
fucking
for the
dollars.
murder of
And you think I should pull a
22-year-old
24?
Yeardley Love, he appeared pale,
I gotta
frail, and
edit
gaunt.
this.
The prosecution presented a case that Hughley went to Love's apartment that night, busted through her bedroom
Wait, do you
door,
mean an
and
all-nighter
subway
by going
struck
to
her,
12
causing blunt
a.m.?
force trauma, which led to her death.
We've also
Probably
learned
gonna
that
end
on
at
that
12.
night, George Hughley was exchanging what were described as playful text messages with 3 other women. Those
other?
messages continued late into the night and even after the alleged attack.
Throughout
Bro, you murdered your ex, and then you go flirt and trying to fuck on other bitches? What did you murder her for? What are you doing?
this trial, Hughley has sat expressionless, almost
Are you
stoic
insane?
at the defense table. All of that changed today as this police
life
interview
gone
was
for
airing.
nothing.
Hughley began crying, was often pinching the bridge of his nose with his hands and looking down as he listened to the sound of his own hysterical voice. I did not kill her. I did not kill her. I did not. I did not.
In court Tuesday, Hughley's defense faced an uphill climb.
The most
$5
riveting
he didn't have to
testimony
give
came
you
from
10 for
former
it's not
UNC
$10
lacrosse
because
player
I don't
Michael
get
Burns, who
I get
testified
half
that
of the
one
sub.
time while visiting UVA, he
2
heard
subs
some
equals
yelling for
1
help
sub
from
that you
Hughley's
paid.
apartment. When he opened the door, he said he found Hughley with his arm wrapped around Love's neck, choking her. Hughley then let her
2
go,
subs
and she
equals
ran
1
out of the
sub.
room crying.
A variety of medical experts took the stand this Wednesday, and they all seem to agree that Love's death
didn't
was the
have to
result
get
of
this
blunt
up.
force trauma to the head. This was followed by highly distressing witness testimony from Yeardley's neighbors.
The noise was so loud, this was such a violent death that they heard it downstairs, 2 separate witnesses, and it sounded like a stereo crashing to the ground.
And it certainly didn't help that the jury knew that she was alive for 2 hours before she died, indicating that if George Hughley had come to his senses, he could have gone back there, called 911, and possibly saved her life.
Still, the driving argument for the defense is that George Hughley never intended to kill. They say this was all a tragic accident, that he does not deserve a life sentence, but instead a lesser charge and a second chance.
Guilty of second-degree murder, and you will hear the sentence momentarily.
A 26-year prison term
Oh
came
shit, he
down.
get a
George
second
Hughley was brought
chance?
to court to hear his lawyers plead
Bro,
for the judge to cut
you
in
took a
half
life.
the 26-year sentence recommended by the jury.
took her
Judge
life.
Edward Hogshire did trim
Beat her
it
to
back,
death.
but by just 3 years.
The jury in this case recommended 26 years. The judge changed it to 23. Probably a small difference, but why would he do that?
It's surprising, isn't it, considering this is a woman who was beaten to death.
She was beaten to death in her own
that
bed.
George was convicted of a crime inconsistent with the facts, and he received a penalty inconsistent with what the evidence would require.
There are no winners in this case.
With credit for the time that George Hughley has already
Do
served
an
in jail, and if
all-nighter.
he gets time off for good behavior, he could be out in
You niggas
18
gotta go to
years.
sleep
And
for-
the family for Yeardley Love
Get
has
wake
put
up
out
for the
this
fucking
statement
bus.
saying, "We find no joy in other
Talking about
sorrow.
all
We are
night.
relieved to put
You
this
niggas gotta
chapter
catch the
behind
bus.
us."
Shut up.
As for George, he was incarcerated at the maximum security Augusta Correctional Center for 10 years,
So he
and
getting
has
out
since
at
been
40.
transferred to a prison work camp in Richmond, where he's expected to serve out the rest of his sentence. The present consensus in the media is that George had no intention of killing Yeardley, but that his 23-year sentence is still appropriate, if not lenient, and that him being drunk to any degree at the time of the murder is not an excuse,
Bro,
nor
he
does it
took
lessen
her
the
life.
culpability of his actions to any extent. He'll
Like,
be
I don't
released at the
know
age of
what you did, that
45,
nigga.
meaning he will have the second chance at life Yeardley was never afforded. You can decide for yourself whether he deserves it or not.
A comforting prospect to this
He done
tragedy
glue up, he a
is the
cute nigga now.
nonprofit
Fuck around
organization
with
that
you now.
arose from it. The One Love Foundation carries extremely
One Love.
important messages, both on social psychology and preventative education. Their website will be linked in the description of this video.
Jesus. Bro, how is that fair to her? Yes, I missed you so much. Like, how is that even fair to her? She lost her life at 22 because he beat her to death. And he has an opportunity to get out and live his life. Ah, JCS. Thank you, JCS. You're the best. Like, of course. If you ever think of doing some shit like this is what I need you to do. Click bang GTA. GTA though. I'm hitting the nay-nay.